Minecraft speedrunning has gone too far. I mean, look at this video called 8 speedruns that have been completely ruined. It has Minecraft right front and center. While this video certainly has its faults,
it just goes to show how anyone can get a good time in this category if they get good enough luck.
It's not bizarre to agree that the speedrun has advanced incredibly far, even beyond what most people thought its limits were. But how advanced is this beloved speed game? Well, I'll be going over some crazy innovations speedrunners have created, along with some external tools that they use so we can see how far this game has come. Now, I don't want to talk about general strategies such as how runners find bastions or ways they kill the dragon, mainly because I already did that twice, but also because I want to talk about the niche strategies that show off how creative these players can get. I think a good example of this is how runners change the game language. You might know that in other popular speed games such as Mario Odyssey, runners switch to simplified Chinese to get through dialogue faster. This can save a decent amount of time with how much story these games have, but Minecraft is different in that there is no dialogue, so what even is the point of changing languages then? Well, they do this because it can speed up crafting. A technique known as search crafting utilizes the recipe book to create items. Let's take a look at this with a popular language in Bosnian. Runners need to make beds and respawn anchors. By typing IJ into the search bar, these items will pop up. The string and glowstone needed to make these show up as well. There's also German, which can help get tools by typing SS, and beds with EE. There's tons of other languages used like French Canadian and Norwegian. Speedrunners are insane at finding minuscule optimizations, and this is an example of one. Let's stay on the topic of crafting and talk about another innovation. This is tab space crafting. It certainly looks fancy, so let me tell you what it's used for. This is what the crafting grid looks like with the recipe book closed. This is what the grid looks like with the recipe book open. Something interesting is that the center of the crafting grid with the book open aligns with the output of the crafting grid with the book closed. By pressing tab, you can then press space to open and close the recipe book. Doing this allows runners to save a small amount of time since they don't need to move their mouse from the grid to the output. Thanks to this, smooth sequences like these are possible. It's pretty insane looking just to shave off mere milliseconds, but hey, Minecraft speedrunning, am I right? Let me introduce you to one of the coolest external tools we have. Paceman is a way for people to see the pace of a speedrun in real time. It's got a whole website and everything. There's even a Discord that you can join and set up notifications depending on what kind of splits you're interested in. We see this in the current world record by Drip120. The chat at the beginning of the run was pretty quiet. By the time he gets to the fortress at an insane pace, people start joining in to see what's up. At the end of the run, we truly see how active the stream is. Thanks to Paceman, incredibly cool moments like these are possible. I'm pretty sure tools like this exist for other games, but Paceman is incredibly refined. It even has statistics with a ton of great information. My stats, for example, are, well, I try my best. Calculators. You've most likely heard about these, and I've even talked about it previously, but I only scratched the surface of them. As a brief review, runners use a program called NinjaBrainBot, which measures your eye and spits back the stronghold coordinates. The closer you are to the exact angle, the cleaner the results will be. But getting a precise eye measurement is pretty difficult by itself. If only there was a way to make it a little easier, and yeah, you know where I'm going with this. By changing your resolution, we can measure eyes down to the pixel. This is made especially easy with this OBS overlay that tells you how many pixels you're off by. By manually adjusting the angle, players can consistently find the stronghold with a singular eye of ender. You might be confused how this works, so let me explain. Because eyes of ender point to 8-8 in the chunk the stronghold starter staircase is, the calculator will draw a line that eventually intersects with this point. This is why you need to be incredibly precise. Calculators are commonly paired with a boat for a technique called boat eye. Boats are used because exiting one puts you into very specific coordinates that the calculator likes. Okay, those coordinates don't look perfect, but I promise you they help with measuring. This makes measuring the stronghold more consistent. Oh, and while I'm at it, since I'm really getting into the nitty-gritty, I'll mention yet another technique related to triangulation. Measuring an eye at full sensitivity is practically impossible, so runners would often lower their in-game sensitivity down to 1. The only problem with this is that dragging the slider back up to your preferred sensitivity can be difficult at times, especially considering nerves. This is where raw input comes into play. Turning it on eliminates the Windows mouse setting, which makes playing games more consistent. Something that runners do is lower their Windows mouse settings so when the raw input gets turned off, their sensitivity naturally decreases. But won't this make your mouse slower and unnatural? This is why runners increase their DPI to crazy high numbers and lower their Minecraft sensitivity to make it feel normal. Yes, everything I just described is all for measuring an eye of ender without using the sensitivity slider. I don't even know if what I said makes sense to y'all. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it really is psychotic how much these runs are optimized. You guys like mods? I like mods. Let's talk about some. There are a lot of mods, and it can often be difficult to find which ones are allowed, which ones are incompatible with each other, and which ones are up to date. Another external program known as ModCheck does all of this for you, and it is so helpful. All I have to do is press a few buttons, and my game is practically set up for speedrunning. Now, players take advantage of one mod in particular, and this is World Preview, which gives runners a snippet of the seed before they have fully loaded in. With this, players can reset based on what they see. This is combined with something called the wall. It uses multiple instances so runners can find truly optimal worlds. However, one problem exists with it in that it's annoying to set up. You have to open each instance and set up a macro and hope that everything works without error. Oh, I forgot to mention this, but changing resolutions is another separate macro, and Paceman is a separate application. If only all of this could be made simpler. This is Minecraft speedrunning. You know there's a solution. This is Jolty, a somewhat kind of hub for everything speedrun related. It has a Paceman tracker, it can open all your instances, it can clear worlds, it can really do everything. Almost every runner uses this just out of pure convenience. But now that I think about it, loading all of these Minecrafts kind of takes a toll on your computer. Wouldn't it be great if all of them were put together? Seed Queue, another mod that kind of replaces the wall and does it all in one instance of Minecraft. It's significantly easier on your PC and allows for an insane amount of world resetting. It's still pretty new, but I've been using it and I love it. It feels nice having a super easy way to speedrun. It's so simple that even new players can get into it with relative ease. And now I'll go over a few of the maps speedrunners use just for practice. First off is Overworld Practice by 7raw. This is used mainly for warm-up, but includes practice features for buried treasures, building nether portals, and zero cycle preparation. Another map, Crafting Practice by Sempers, does exactly what it sounds like. It helps you practice crafting. Portal Practice, also created by Sempers, is used by runners to work on all forms of portal building. This includes the traditional magma and lava pool portals, but also untraditional ones like building blind portals, ruin portals, and even filling in the eyes of end portals. Bastion Practice by Llama helps route bastions. It has tons of settings that gives you full control of how you want your practice to go. You want to spawn in an optimal location? That's an option. Spawn with gold armor? You can do that. Spawn with full netherite? I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but sure, go ahead. One Cycle Practice, created by Circuit. This one helps you one cycle the dragon, as you probably guessed based on the title. Zero Cycle by Astra F and Naor, well, I feel like you guys understand by now that the titles are pretty accurate as to what they help practice. Finally, Preemptive Practice, created by Llama. I don't know if this Llama is the same as the previous Llama, but anyways, this map helps runners practice their stronghold to portal room split. Admittedly, I don't use these practice maps nearly as much as I should, but writing this has been a wake-up call, so hey, at least I'm getting something out of this. Looking back at speedrunning during 2020 is kind of difficult nowadays. I mean, this is how we used to reset. We've really come a long way in lowering this game's time, and it's thanks to all of the innovations that players have come up with. Now, if anything here looks intimidating and scares you off from speedrunning this game, that really wasn't my intention. You can start at your own level and get better at your own pace. I'm just here to introduce some insane measures that speedrunners have taken. Is this game too advanced? Well, that's up to you to decide. Me personally, I'm just doing my best to keep up. That's all I got. See ya!